What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Brandoncoin tuning back in, and we have another hardware video today. So the guys over at Parallel Miner actually sent me this over. It's fairly new from them, and I'll show it to you first before I actually tell you what it is. It almost looks like kind of like a little Raspberry Pi, like a little mini computer. But this is their remote access management module, or the RAMM, R-A-M-M, and that is from Parallel Miner. Their link will be down below in the description. So they have awesome directions and like reading through all that stuff, and I could do that, or I could just I could dumb it down into my kind of terms. Basically, this is run off of a USB input right here, a micro USB input. It does need a minimum of 2 amps. It can run off of a 3 amp cord. It cannot run off of a 1 amp. Then you put a LAN plug in here, Ethernet plug that into your network, and you connect your power supply to this side right here. And essentially, this gives you a unit to where you can log in and hard turn on, turn off, reset any of your rigs that are attached to it. Per their manual, it says they have daisy chained up to 8 power supplies at one time off of one module, but they should be able to handle longer chains. Now, with that being said, that's a lot of power to be handling right there. And the way it works is they have their 4-pin Molex ports on their different breakout boards for your, and we're speaking of server power supplies here, guys, not just regular power supplies. I don't believe this would actually work with the regular one. This is for server power supplies, just so you know. And it's for their breakout boards: the X6B, the X7B, the X11, the X12, X15, and the X20. So I'll hold that up right there. That's the list of compatible breakout boards that it does work with, if my camera would focus. All right, yeah, so that's the breakout boards it will work with. It comes with where'd it go? I just had it. Oh, right here. This little plug right here, and how I imagine it works is you just plug it in to right there on the actual module, and then this is the side that plugs into the breakout board on the server power supply. So I'm going to be installing this on one of my systems upstairs, and we're going to see how it works. Wish me luck, guys. Wish me luck. All right, let's go. So I have my server power supply right here. I just unplugged the breakout board off the back. This is the X11, I do believe. It's got 2 interconnects to daisy chain multiple power supplies together. It's got an on-off switch right there in the middle, and then it's got the Molex plug, which we will be using right here off of the RAMM module, the remote access management module. So I'm going to plug that Molex port right into there. Then I'm going to plug my RAMM module into my network and also give it power off of this USB right here. Then I'll be plugging the breakout board back into the server power supply. And I do notice like I am running like dual ATX here, but then I'm running like server with ATX. And one thing that I run into when I'm restarting my rigs, especially on Simple Miner, because I'm using Simple Miner for these right now, is when you do a restart on the software, it doesn't truly restart the rig because the server power supply never powers down. So all the cards stay powered up and they don't actually get to power down and then go back up. So with this module, what I'm hoping, I haven't actually looked at the software yet, but it shows you that you can go on, off, and restart. So that means I could potentially restart my rigs on Simple Miner, which would actually like restart the ATX side, and then on this I could turn off and turn on or restart my server power supplies. Now, this little thing for people who are using server power supplies for all of their power, instead of like me, it's like a hybrid system. If you got server power supplies that are powering the whole system, then that means this thing would power on and power off your entire system. I think there may be added functionality on this port right here, where you may be able to tie into an ATX power supply. I will contact the guys over at Parallel Miner to see if that is possible. Maybe I'm just missing something, but that would be awesome if that was added to it. But it still is awesome just to be able to power that server power supply on and off, because that's one thing that nobody else really has any way to do remotely at the moment. So now it is an option, and we will be plugging it in and then going downstairs and actually trying it out. So yeah, stay with us, guys. Alright, so I have everything plugged in. I'm going to leave this just here temporary for the time being. It is plugged into power, it is plugged into the power supply, and then I have the Ethernet plugged in also. So I'm just going to power up this machine like I normally do first, and that means I'm going to press the button in the back to get the power supply on. Then I'm going to turn this on and power up my rig. So in theory, I should be able to go downstairs and then now control the power to this server power supply. What I probably am going to end up doing is daisy chaining all my server power supplies together. So this one, and then I just got another one on this other rig back here. I'll daisy chain those all together, so if I master reset all of my rigs on Simple Miner, then I can just master reset all of my server power supplies also. Now if I can just figure out how to get the server power supplies connected to the ATX, which I'm pretty sure Parallel Miner has a solution or a fix for that, then that means from one simple software remotely, I could log in and in theory reset everything. Now with that being said, let's go downstairs and try it out. Alright guys, so I have it plugged in and running upstairs. I ran into a little bit of issues, but it was actually my own fault. You have to make sure you actually plug in the Ethernet cable, because if you don't plug in the Ethernet cable, it can't get connected to your network. So yeah, but I actually did end up getting up with Parallel Miner support. Those guys over there, awesome. They had me figured out in no time. I go back upstairs. I had the Ethernet port plugged into the unit, but I didn't have it plugged into my switch on the other side. I thought I did. Oh well, would laugh it off. Mistakes were made. But the default IP that it does assign it is 192.168.1.100. After you log in for the first time, then you can actually change it to whatever you want it to be. You just don't forget it, because you need to make sure you know it to log back into it when you're on the inside. Now, let's see down here. This is the power control. It's on right now, or you can go off, and you can set it to do a power cycle. 2 minutes, 1 hour, 6 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours. They will be adding periodically updates and upgrades. That's where you can go over here to upgrade the firmware. They also say you can actually load your own custom firmware on, but it will void the warranty. Or you can actually just reboot the module. So this is the actual RAM module that we're in. It does have a password, so you can change the password up here in the top right. And yeah, so it's pretty much as simple as that. So for me, originally they made these to be used with like ASICs and stuff, anything that people are running a server power supply on. So then you could daisy chain, say, 8 ASICs together with 8 power supplies, and all be controlled off of this unit. So then you could restart the power, or restart those ASICs once a day, once every other day, or just restart them if you have one hanging up, that kind of thing. But the way I'm going to be using mine is right now, when I go onto Simple Miner, for example, this 470 rig right here, this rig is running a ATX power supply and a server power supply. If I go over here to reboot rig, all that does is cycle the ATX power supply. It does not cycle the server power supply. The server power supply is always on. So what I can do, so that way power goes off on those rigs, on that rig fully when it reboots, is I can come over here, I can turn the power off on that, then I can reboot the rig and then go back and power it back on. So then that rig totally gets, all the power out of it and then all the power back into it, because sometimes stuff does hang up and it actually does need to do that. If you are running your system totally off of a server power supply, then this obviously would just restart the whole entire system. I may end up trying to use this on my Antminer, but my Antminer is only temporary, so I don't want to set this up for something that's going to be temporary. I'm going to look into potentially powering my next rig solely off of a server power supply. I'll just have to get the Pico adapter for the motherboard, but that way I'd be able to use this and control the full rig. But if you guys are interested in them, they are available at Parallel Miner now. I'll put their link down below in the description. And if you have any problems with them, they have a bunch of articles and stuff online. And if you can't figure it out then you can contact the guys over at Parallel Miner. They really do got it going on, and they send some quality products. So yeah, check them out. Hope you appreciate this video. If you have any questions, because I know I had a couple questions when I first got my hands on it, please comment down below in the description. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Simple. Look at that. Restarting, making our lives easier, one little piece of hardware at a time. So everybody have a good evening. I will see you 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday, on the crypto GPU mining live stream. Adios.